You're taking me to Walmart? Okay. Are you gonna put me in a baby seat in the cart and push me around? Yeah, but one of the reasons why I didn't read very much today is that Spotify gave me this auto-generated playlist that was so fucking good, and I just wanted to listen to music. It was like it made a mix for people who listen to ghosts, and it was like the best combination of 80s rock and early 2000s emo, and I was like, yes, it's everything I care about. If you don't know about the Mistborn trilogy and its amazing magic system, basically they have allomancers, who are people who are born with the ability to they eat metal, and then the metal that they eat, they can, quote, burn it to like activate powers in them, and different metals go to different abilities. And there's a lot of lore about like how people like came to have this ability. I won't get too far into that because it's like major spoilers for the series, but basically it started off as something that only the nobility had, but because of illegitimate children and stuff like that, peasants started being born with it and stuff like that because it's like genetic kind of. But if you're born with the ability to be an allomancer, you have to be, I think they call it snapped. You have to basically be abused or suffer extremely to have your powers activate. And so most of the peasant class, if they have those abilities, they just like have it. They don't even recall the moment when they got their powers. But for the nobility, because they're expecting their children to have these abilities, and because they're the nobility and they have soft lives, there's like this tradition of like beating your children to see if they have powers. It's kind of fucked up. And sometimes they don't have powers. Oops. But you can also be what's called a mistborn, which has all of those abilities. But there's also a secondary magic system called, it's really hard to say this one. Furukami? I feel like that's wrong. And it works very similar to allomancy, except instead of like ingesting it and like their abilities like burning away, they wear metal on them and they're able to like store ability into the metal. But the main character, but he has a very interesting combination of abilities to me, and I am so fucking excited to like, see how this plays out, because he's a twinborn, so he has Furukami and allomancy, but he can burn steel, so he's a coin shot, and he can do the thing where he like, stores his weight, so he can make himself like weigh less or more, which is an interesting combination, because the way that steel pushing works is if they push on something that weighs more than them, they get pushed backwards. So being able to like adjust your weight can actually like, I don't know, like the physics of it is, I feel like, going to be very interesting. This also takes place in a time period where they have guns, which is like, hell yeah, because it's like, how's that gonna play in? I already kind of know, but apparently even though he can push on metal, if he gets shot, it's kind of like too late because the bullet's too like fast for him to be able to do anything about it. But yeah, I'm super excited to read more about it. Already, I am realizing, so I feel like Brandon Sanderson's kind of like known for his like fantasy stuff, but he does write other non-fantasy stuff on sort of like his strength in writing actually like mystery thriller, which is actually going to be super exciting because he doesn't do a whole lot of that. I think I've read what is his book? I think it's a novella, Legion, and it's already kind of like giving me those vibes. It's very different, but it feels less high fantasy than the Mistborn trilogy, and I'm excited to see, I don't know, the atmosphere, what the vibes are. I'm not far enough in to know really how it's going to, what the atmosphere is going to be. I will say Brandon Sanderson's worst quality is that he's a man. No, I don't hate him. I am a fan, But one, it's not even like a criticism that I have. It's just like a thing is that I am constantly reminded that I'm reading something that is written by a guy. It's not even that egregious. It's not that sexist, really, or anything like that. It's not even very male gazy or anything like that. It's just very male perspective, which is kind of a turnoff for me. It's kind of a problem I have with a lot of his books, to be honest. He kind of writes the same characters over and over again. Like a female character who's kind of like a tomboy, and a male character that's like kind of scruffy but like charming. And like I said, it's not even really like a criticism. Like it's just something that I feel like he does, a Sanderson-ism. Because I like the way he develops characters. It's just that he does the same ones over and over again. And I tend to be more attached to his side characters a lot. So I'm hoping that this has like a good crew vibe, like, because the Mistborn trilogy, one of the best parts of it is that it does have a found family trope. I love fucking heist shit. I love when the gang is all together again. So I'm hoping that he introduces more characters and that they are more varied. But yeah, main dude that we've met so far, his name is Wax, which is funny. It's kind of growing on me, but Wax, really? And Wax suffers from having a dead wife syndrome. So that's what I was trying to get at when I said that I am constantly reminded that this book is written by a man. We're introduced to this main guy and his wife for not even 10 pages, and then like he's like, man, I love my wife, and then his wife dies and he's like, oh, that's rough, buddy, that's rough. That just sounds like the ADHD. Oh, maybe it is. I don't know. I never know which part is which diagnosis. That's why I like the term neurodivergent. I'm like, I check too many boxes for too many different things. I don't like to like process that as like me having multiple like neurological developmental disorders. Like I'm just me, you know? I just got me disease. I'm just built different. So I'm finally getting to a point where it's like new stuff. I think he wrote this like kind of like as like a refresher for people who already know the series, or for people who are starting with this book rather than like the first like Mistborn trilogy. So like it was a lot of repeating stuff that I already knew. Brush myself on some of the lore, but main dude Waxilium, dead wife syndrome. His wife died, so he has to go get a new wife because he's actually kind of like I don't know what you'd call him, lord or something. And so he has duties to like his family and stuff like that because his uncle died and now he's like the only one left, and so he has to remarry because his like family name is still strong but they're running out of money. So he's like looking for a sugar mommy. That's kind of a lawmaker sheriff type dude out in what they're calling the roughs, so it's kind of like the Wild West. And then I guess that was just a phase, and when his first wife died, I'm out. He gets like really bad PTSD and like anxiety about using his guns now, and I'm gonna spoil this. He shot his wife in the head. So now he's kind of like weirded out by his own guns, and like he couldn't do it anymore. So he was like, time to go back to my old life, I guess, and meet one of his buddies from his days in the roughs, another like lawmaking dude who is in town to investigate because people are stealing from the roughs and like bigger. It's like but they're like abducting people and stuff like that. And so it's becoming like this whole thing. And there's this line from this character. This character, first guy, named Wax. What do you think guy number 2 is named? What do you think? What do you think he's named? Wax and Wayne! You got it! His name is fucking Wayne. Hey, already, I barely know Wayne. I already love him. I love him more than Wax. I kind of wish Wax had died instead of his wife. Maybe he gets better. He's not my type. Wayne, though, I fuck with Wayne. But there's this line in the book that we get from Wayne when he's like kind of like explaining why he's like in the city and why he's like investigating. 4 hostages so far, none returned. Stealing jewelry is one thing, taking food from the Roughstown is another. Kidnapping people. I love how concisely they just told us like everything we need to know about Wayne's like moral code. Like he's like, stealing not that bad, but stealing food from poor people, fucked up. Stealing people, really fucked up. The book. I've got things to say about the fucking book. Also got introduced to 2 women, Marasi and Steris. So Steris is going to be in an arranged marriage with Waxilium, and Marasi is her cousin. The thing that I fucking hate the most about this book is that Steris, okay, so I think we're supposed to dislike her. So far, she is second for favorites. She's like Wayne is more fun than Steris. I love and I appreciate how this woman just walks around with a stick up her ass 24/7. Because this lady, I fucking know, which, God, it's the worst thing about Brandon Sanderson is that he's a dude. I'm sorry, it just is. Sometimes I'm just reminded that he's just a guy. And I know he doesn't want us to like Steris. She's described as like kind of like thorough, right? So she comes in with this contract and like the details of everything and how it's going to be like all these weird details about conjugal visits and having mistresses and stuff like that. It's very much obligation, which she's fine with, right? Because she wants his family's name. And her family has money, which he needs because they're Baroque. But I just like her. She has more personality and more character than any of the other women. And she's more of a hard ass. But I like that about her. But like, we're not supposed to like her. She's just supposed to be annoying and like anal. And we're supposed to like the other girl, the cousin. What's her name? Marasi. We're supposed to like her more. But, oh God, I hate it.
Hard ass means she's gonna D-word.
What does that mean?
That sounds like the name of some European food product. Isn't that a candy bar?
Isn't that a candy bar? She's gonna die? Perish? I don't think she's gonna die. When you say D-word, like the bad word for lesbian, is that why I like her? No, so...
I'm no sorry, lol.
I really hope that this is gonna be like a, oh, just kidding kind of thing. But I don't think it is. I don't have faith. I think that they are endgame, which is so fucking cringe. I already think Wax is a loser. Like, I don't find his character charming at all. He's kind of like annoying to me. And I don't find him very impressive. Oops, sorry. And Marasi is basically a fangirl. She's a fangirl. She is living with
what a coincidence. I don't find my character charming either.
So she's living with Steris so that she can go to college she's studying like criminology, right? So she's obsessed with him because he was like a lawmaker in the Roughs and stuff like that. So she like knows all about him. Also, she's 20 and Wax is like 40. And he's like, oh my God, she's like so smart. And she's in the like her college's like shooting club or whatever. So she like knows guns and oh my God, she's so cool, right? Oh, wow. This is making you seem like even more of a loser to me. Oops. But he's supposed to be like Sherlock Holmes, I think. But he's not. I don't know. He doesn't seem as smart. This is gonna sound so fucking mean, but I don't think Brandon Sanderson is good at writing smart characters. Like realizes that the robberies are a cover-up for... so that people are less concerned about like the details of the hostages, right? So they're trying to figure out why they're taking these hostages. And they're able to find out that all the hostages are related. And they're related to like, I don't know, they keep saying like the mistborn himself, which I don't know if they're talking about Kelsier or another mistborn, or I don't know what they're talking about, but a mistborn is in their family line. Allomancers, and originally they're like, oh, all the people who were taken were probably secretly allomancers and they're trying to build an army, right? I get to this point in the book where they reveal that all of the hostages taken are women. And I'm like, I became religious momentarily. I was like, please, God, please, don't make this plot device what I think it is. Please don't make it the thing that I think it is. Please, no, make it normal kidnapping.
Jeez Louise, God.
Please, God isn't real. He did not listen to my prayers. Okay. And they kind of discern that, because they originally assumed that the women who were being taken were secretly allomancers, right? But then Steris herself gets kidnapped.
If you're real, strike down the strobe right now.
So they're all related to Steris, right? So Steris gets kidnapped, and they try to take Maresi, but he saves her. Doesn't save Steris, only saves the other one.
There's the first girl, then there's Morasi. So anyway,
they were able to ask her, because they're like, are you an allomancer? Like, secretly, is Steris an allomancer? And she's like, no, we're not allomancers. We're fucking normal. What the fuck? That's not it. You're wrong. What I was actually hoping would happen was that they were thinking that they were mistborns that hadn't been, like, awakened yet or snapped. So I was hoping that they would be subject to abuse, and then like Steris would come back as like a mistborn or something fucking cool, you know? Oh yeah. But no, I was wrong. That's not where that's going. And the thing that I was afraid of happening was, it's true. So the bandits are being hired by someone else who is targeting these victims for hostages, who are all women, we know at this point. Why do you think he's taking women? Why? They also say he at this point, even though we didn't have any clue as to who it was. We only knew about the bandits. All the bandits are male though, but I guess, I mean, like, they call him he is taking the women. Why do you think?
The thing I was afraid of happening, it's true. Jesus is real, and he didn't answer my prayers to stop this book's plot. No comment.
What do you think happened? Say it, I dare
Cause
you.
horny?
Breeding, it's breeding. It's fucking, he's breeding. He's breeding. He's breeding. He's breeding! He wants to breed a mistborn or something, probably.
He's breeding.
Well, I hate straight people, no offense, but I hate straight people. But, like, some of you guys are cool.
Breeden Sanderson looking ass.
Breeden Sanderson? Excuse me? Yeah.
If he hasn't gotten one yet, I guess he's certainly mistborn.
Oh my god. But anyway, I stopped reading right at the moment where they're like, oh my god, he's fucking. Wax says, well, at least this means Steris isn't in immediate danger. She's valuable to him, even without being an allomancer. So he's like, dude, that's supposed to be your fucking fiance. I know you're not in love or anything like that, but can you at least be a fucking decent human being and at least be slightly horrified that she's getting raped right now?
I remember this book. I remember making fun of his name now.
Because he's whack. Wayne is the better one. I don't care. No, he's
Sandy Branderson.
Oh, Sandy Branderson. Oh my god. I hate men. Sorry. No offense. Not you guys. You guys are cool. You don't write books. Some of you can't even read. It's fine. I think I would like this book more if it didn't have women in it.